Sup guys, Overdov here with a review of another project on Arbitrum. This time it's Farcana. It's probably one of the most anticipated projects, not only on Arbitrum but in Web3 space as a whole. The game is currently in development. There haven't been any public testing yet, but we already can see a lot of gameplay, some CGI and concepts outlined by the development team. First, we're gonna read through the white paper and then discuss the state of the game and the features of the game. Introduction. Farcana is a shooting championship for heroes who compete in teams to earn Bitcoin. Battles are in exciting tournaments with state-of-the-art weapons. A unique attribute of the Farcana gaming metaverse is the interweaving of the play-to-hash model as an integral part of the in-game economy. The P2H model is designed to use Bitcoin mining rewards to ensure a consistent reward stream. Additionally, Farcana offers a play-to-own component. This feature means players who spend time leveling up their in-game assets, NFTs, can have the potential to increase their asset value. Players can be recognized for their contributions, time, effort, and money. In return, players can own, earn, and win in the Farcana gaming metaverse. Learning from the gaming powerhouses, Farcana invested in creating an immersive world built on the foundation of the latest technology and smooth gameplay. Farcana Labs focuses on offering AI solutions and wearables to the broad game industry. Much of the Farcana game leverages Farcana Labs research and gamers database. Then we have some stats here outlining that in 2021 there was a rise in gamify and play-to-earn projects like Axie Infinity, for example. The gamify problem. Existing P2E games exhibit some fundamental flaws in the current P2E models. The limitations can be summarized as such: tedious on grinding in-game loops, unaffordable game entries, the presence of bots, perhaps the most crucial of all, a constant need for new entrants to sustain the in-game economy and native token price. And Farcana's solution would be learning from past models. Farcana solves this problem by focusing on 1. Quality of gameplay, and 2. Utilizing Bitcoin as a sustainable reward to ensure that players can own, earn, and win when playing Farcana. Farcana avoids existing gamified pitfalls by adopting a guaranteed prize fund. Farcana's prize fund is backed by Bitcoin mining hash rate, where we introduce a new benchmark for the gamify sector through the innovative, patented play-to-hash model. The P2H means that players engage with Farcana, while Farcana utilizes mining power to mine real Bitcoin that is sent to the game's prize pool. Tournament rewards are pulled from this prize pool, ensuring a sustainable incentive for players regardless of the market conditions. Players can view the game's mining pool on Farcana's website and the in-game interface. They can view how much Bitcoin is stored in the pool contracts, and there is complete transparency into Farcana's distribution of game rewards. Then we have a pretty extensive lore, which we're not gonna go through because it's really long. I mean, if you're into that sort of stuff, you can check that. One thing they emphasized in dev stream that they taken lore very seriously and the incorporation of this lore into the game, and they have dedicated people in team whose job is to assure that lore is being successfully created and implemented and story told within the game. Okay, now we arrive at the economy part. To achieve a sustainable token economy that is interactive and rewarding for players and ecosystem participants, Farcana has conceptualized in-game and out-of-game components of its economy. Such a perception stems from our acknowledgement of the different ecosystem participants, from gamers to token investors. In the broad market, we recognize the need for token holders to benefit from the Farcana game economy and ecosystem growth. We also aspire to have geo-based clusters of audiences who manage to benefit from the holding of our token. Within the Farcana game economy, the FAR token at the base level enables participation in Farcana's esports tournaments. Furthermore, it is a medium of exchange where gamers are able to purchase in-game assets, and lastly, the token facilitates peer-to-peer trades and transactions. So even though the reward from the playing is in Bitcoin, there is also a token, obviously, that is a currency for trading, esports participation, stuff like that. FAR token. Players and market participants can acquire them in many ways. The most common way will be purchase tokens from the market, players have the following staking utilities. Choose to stake tokens, which in turn gives them the ability to quicken in-game level progression, chance of receiving a loot box drop at the end of each game, and participate in the game governance. Players can also choose to spend FAR token to acquire unique skins for their avatars, unlock loot boxes that contains a variety of NFT accessories, and to reroll their current NFTs with a chance of upgrading their skin. The play to hash part was already outlined earlier, I don't think we need to go through this again. Tournament rewards. By allocating mining power, Farcana manages the Bitcoin allocation process for the players. Instead of players focusing on mining, they need to play the game and earn BTC from the prize pool to win. Farcana tournaments exist in 3 distinct segments: Entry, Pro, and Championship. Each segment advertises different Bitcoin allocations at their prize pool. For the Entry League, there is no barrier to access, and it is free for all players to participate. Additionally, there will be local regional events. However, these tournaments only occur quarterly. To access the monthly Pro League, players are required to purchase a Battle Pass to participate. And in the ultimate standoff, the Farcana Championship takes place quarterly throughout the year. For this exciting event, an invitation or special pass is required for players to participate. So basically, this is a league system. We have 3 leagues. The first one is Entry League. Anybody can participate and play there. The initial prize pool would be 0.2 BTC there. Then you have a Pro League where the Battle Pass would be required to entry. And as far as I understand from their main spaces, you will need to hit a certain rating to be able to participate in Pro League. It's not just like acquiring Battle Pass. And then we have the Championship League. That's the highest tier with the most prize pool, with the highest prize pool. But obviously not everybody can go there. You will need a special pass, and I would assume high rating. So their prediction would be that around 1% of players will be in Championship League. Also, they said that these quarterly tournaments would be more regular with the time if everything goes according to plan. Spending revenue in stablecoins. Farcana's revenue model utilizes multiple sources of revenue streams to sustain the game over time. A sustainable and stable revenue flow is vital for game development to ensure that proper updates and maintenance can be provided. And here's the list of items that can be bought with it, and we're gonna go back to this part later. Farcana has 3 broad categories of characters and in-game assets created to serve 3 distinct purposes within the game. First is experience changers, second is cosmetics, and 3 added value. Depending on the items purchased, the digital asset can enhance the gameplay experience by influencing leveling or achievements within the game. Some in-game items can only be purchased using the FAR tokens. NFT loot boxes may be obtained by playing games rounds for users who own a battle pass or stake a certain amount of FAR tokens. Loot boxes will also be available for purchase on the secondary market, and they can be unlocked using FAR tokens. More details on loot boxes are to be released soon. Marketplace has been designed to be a backbone of Farcana's economy. It will allow players to customize their characters' visuals and purchase other in-game assets previously mentioned. We choose to develop 3 types of marketplaces to enhance the shopping experience and create the methods that allows Web2 consumers to integrate themselves into Web3 through a simplified process. Battle Pass. Farcana adopts an established video game industry concept, Battle Pass. They provide players with various collectibles as a reward for participating in game and completing challenges. They also act as another progression measure and a source of immediate revenue for Farcana. Battle passes will be obtainable via stablecoin. In-game marketplace. We expect the in-game marketplace to be the most popular option since it will act as a bridge between Web 2 and Web 3. Players can purchase items using credit cards or other payment options. Once a purchase has been made, the item will be delivered to players' inventories. They will be met with an option to bring it on-chain where they can trade it on the secondary market. However, players can keep their items as a collectible piece off-chain and play with it in-game. web-based marketplace. For more advanced Web3 traders or collectors, we will build a web-based marketplace with a different purchasing options ranging from stablecoins to FAR tokens. We expect to equip this marketplace with many features similar to OpenSea, Educated, Blur, and other popular marketplaces to achieve the best possible user experience. To reach maximum interoperability, Farcana will collaborate with other popular NFT marketplaces and try to integrate our NFT assets onto their platforms, which should drive additional volume and bring Farcana to the attention of new players. Then we have the community and the governance part. Well, the community part is pretty simple. We actively invite our community to participate in the game's development as we share our progress openly on social media channels such as our website, Discord, Twitter, and other relevant sources. Also, they've said that starting around mid-March, they're going to be expanding their community reach. Governance. Governance model requires users to stake their tokens. In return, they will accumulate governance power at a certain rate, which maxes out at 1 per staked FAR token. In other words, stakers will receive a maximum power in 6 months per each staked token. Users can freely withdraw their staked token at any time. However, withdrawing any amount of staked tokens will reset the accumulated governance power back to 0. Any governance participant meeting a minimum required of governance power can create a custom proposal. At the beginning stages, this proposal will be evaluated by the Farcana team to ensure that they do not collide in any way with the progression of the designated roadmap and development of the game. As time passes, more and more decentralization will be added to the game to the point where the governance community will have free will to decide how the game should pan out in the long term. The team will only step in should the inappropriate feature be voted in, and more details on governance should be released soon. Technology and innovation. The game is built on Unreal Engine 5. And in terms of, well, one of the most popular questions, what are you gonna do with the cheaters basically, because cheaters are a huge problem in battle royale games, in battle arenas in general. Everything where the shooting is involved, like basically it's a huge problem. So first of all, the easy anti-cheat will be implemented, but that's not all. It says to address this issue, Farcana will add another layer on top of the existing anti-cheat named Fog of War, limiting the amount of information given to a player. Fog of War at the start scans all the available buildings and terrain in the Farcana maps. Based on those scans, the system then determines what the player should see and limits information given ahead of time. With this, the X-ray systems have limited information, thus they are unable to show players through the walls. It's not touching on the aimbot, obviously, but they also said in AMA that there will be also the reporting systems where other people can report the players for like suspicious behavior on the maps. If you suspect that somebody is a cheater, you can report them, and if a lot of people like report the same player, then it goes under investigation and can potentially be banned. So here I would say this is pretty standard in terms of like how companies handle that. Obviously some companies doing better jobs at it than others, and I think in a lot of cases it actually comes down to how much resources the company actually willing to spend on combating the cheaters, because some companies they just it feels like they just don't care. Okay, then we have the team, and this is I think why this project seems so promising, because the team has huge experience. Obviously we're not going to go read everybody's bio, but if you want you can do that in the white paper. So there are 15 people outlined here, and as far as I understand it's only the core team, because I saw somewhere in Discord, I can't find the initial message now, that several dozens people actually working on this game, and it actually shows in the gameplay that we're gonna check a bit later. And then we have some legal stuff here that we're obviously not gonna go through. So that's the white paper. Some information about the game is just not present here, and or it is limited. So we're gonna check the actual gameplay now on the YouTube channel and talk a bit more about the features. There are also a lot of cool CGIs here that you can check, like we're not gonna play all of them. I'm just gonna pop footage from the dev stream because I think it's more important to actually see the gameplay itself than the CGI, because some people can create an amazing CGIs, yet the gameplay totally sucks. Here we can see the actual gameplay footage in the game. You can go check that on the YouTube. It's like an hour long. It features, it shows like different maps. I'm gonna remove that from the background because I'm afraid that YouTube will ding me for using somebody else's content. But you can check gameplay in details and also a lot of information, relevant information on the dev stream. Okay, now let's talk about the information that is not present in the white paper. So first of all, what state are we currently in? Basically the game is like in pre-alpha right now. In first week of April, they should launch the alpha version of the game. That's gonna be, again, I'm using terms of like alpha, beta, early access. I'm gonna be using those terms loosely. Maybe it's not how it's been outlined by the team. It's just, I think it's the consensus of how things named in the space. So anyway, the alpha version will be available to the limited amount of people. It's going to be closed alpha, obviously, and it's going to start on April. And if I remember correctly, they said that 4 characters will be available at that time. So on the in-game footage, I didn't see any like abilities of the characters, because I think it basically features just the shooting, where you can see the set amount of weapons used. You don't see any heroes' abilities. Then in Q3 they plan to have a closed beta to invite more people, and the game should be in a state closer to release. And then in Q4 there's gonna be an open beta, and then following that the full release. And they actually hinted that they should be able, if again everything goes according to plan, the game would be available in the Epic Store. And if that's gonna be the case, you can imagine that well, Epic Store has a huge audience, so we're gonna see a lot of people coming in to play the game. So that's the schedule of the releases. Then let's talk about the actual gameplay elements. So first of all, characters. They're gonna be 20 characters at the time of the release, at least that's the plan. The 4 characters will be available during the alpha phase. All those characters, basically, they're gonna have their own unique abilities. And as far as I understand, the characters will fall into one of several categories. Like some of them will be support, some of them will be like tanky, some of them gonna be, well, basically defense, offense, support. And there should be a lot of emphasis on the team play, so a lot of abilities will be team focused. And that's gonna function in a way that you have normal abilities, and then you have the ultimate ability that you need to charge based on some actions that you need to do. The second part is the weapon system, where they have, I think they said 5 types of weapons, from like close range to like sniper rifles. They emphasize that there's a very big difference in weapons, and you probably need to master, if you want to play at a certain level, you will need to master at least 3 types of weapons, because like some weapons are going to be better on one map and the other is going to be better on the other map. So basically in different scenarios you will need to use different weapon. You're not just going to be like assault rifle master and like assault rifle in every situation, unless of course you don't really care about like rating gameplay and you just want to have fun in game casually. And the third pillar is the map, where they're gonna have different maps with their unique objectives that will determine which team wins. Oh yeah, and I forgot one of the most important things here, that it's currently designed to be 4 versus 4. So each team has 4 players. And going back to the NFTs, the microtransactions, all that, the developers said no pay to win. Like, you're not gonna be able to improve your character's strength. It's strictly cosmetic. There are a lot of cosmetic items planned, from like weapon skins, character skins, like pets, graffitis, avatars, even lobby decorations. Great idea, I think. Titles, voice packs can also be there. Poses, like moves, poses. And what I think is cool about that, if they succeed in basically creating all of that as an NFT, and if it's gonna be, I think the key point here, it has to be valuable. If you basically can do it, if that's not gonna be valuable, and basically everybody has that, and majority of stuff, it's not gonna cost anything, right? It's not gonna be, people will not trade that if that like cost 10 cents, right? You will burn more in gas. But if they succeed and it's valuable, this is gonna be great. Like you're gonna have the whole marketplace of like NFTs, tradable NFTs that you can buy, you can sell, you can earn it within the game through the loot boxes, through the battle pass, through basically just playing the game, being there. And I think this is, it's not only from the prospect of like making money or on one side, or maybe collectible on the other side, but also the point of retention, because there are just so many games like that. You need something to have better retention of players. So that would be like play and own part. In terms of the P2E part, I'm not exactly sold, because I think it doesn't really matter. The thing, what they're doing here is kind of smart, in the sense that in most P2E games, what happens in the economy, you have like a certain, in a very basic scenario, right? You have the NFT, you use that NFT to do certain tasks, and you get the in-game token. And the token in most cases doesn't even have like the use case outside of the fact that it's being earned here. So most people will just go ahead and sell this. It inevitably, like the price of that token goes lower, lower, lower. The price of that NFT goes lower, lower, lower. So it's not a good model. What they're doing here is basically saying, because we're not issuing this token as a P2E reward, the depreciation of this token is not going to be so bad, at least, or maybe it will not depreciate at all. I think we covered the majority of stuff. There was also a question about like the minimum PC requirements for the game, and the developer said that since it's built on Unreal Engine 5, at the highest, obviously you have very beautiful graphics, but you can also play in like the performance mode where you have the minimum graphics, and it should be running well on slow PCs. Anyway, I think that's all the info I have today. It's still pretty early in development, so a lot more information is gonna come soon, but this project I'm definitely very bullish on. I think it's gonna be successful, because for me personally, one of the most important things in the project is the team. If the team is great, they're gonna succeed. It's just as simple as that. If you have 3 people working on the game with no prior experience, but like insane ambitions, that's not gonna go anywhere. But here the team is absolutely amazing, with tons of experience in Web2. I think they do have enough people. They already have a pretty good base gameplay, and they already showed it. So I think this is one of the most promising projects that are currently in development. I definitely gonna be following that, and also give updates here on the channel. If you liked the video, smash that like button and consider subscribing to the channel for more videos like that. See you soon.